Louise Cooper. You passed away May 8th, 2018. Louise, man, are you at peace, brother? Oh, that's solid. That's solid. Yeah, it's going fast. You are at peace. All right, you got to stop it again for me to reset, for me to ask you another question. You got to come to a complete stop. Then I can ask you something else. You slowing down for me. Complete stop. Okay. What's going on, Graveyard Shift family? It is your fearless. Oh, y'all fearless with the grave. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it on the back? On the back, it say Graveyard Shift. Y'all, these the new shirts. They dropping real. They finna drop. Everybody can be fearless, not just your shift leader, y'all. But listen. It is your fearless shift leader clocked in for another amazing shift. Family, we got another PTO. We got another paranormal travel. I hate that name. I do, y'all. I hate it. No, I don't hate it. But I just feel like we can have something a little bit. We was trying to play off PTO being work related with the graveyard shift because it's like a job. Yeah, maybe I tried a little bit too hard. Listen, I welcome all suggestions for the name of this series. But what we're doing is, usually I'm flying out early in the morning to go travel to meet one of our fellow shifters to help them communicate with their loved ones. But today, y'all, I got a call from right up the street. A woman by the name of Valerie, a shifter in Georgia, in Atlanta, wanted to meet me at Hollywood Cemetery. And as soon as she said Hollywood Cemetery, I was like, come on, I know that one. We come here all the time. Literally, y'all know when we do those nighttime cemetery outdoors, not the one where we go to where Jesus and all of our normals, all the regulars are, the one when we go at night and I get out the car sometimes. Yeah, this one, she has family resting here. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? So Miss Valerie has somebody here that she would love to connect with. Again, I don't know who it is. I don't know the story. I don't know the connection. My job is solely to come here and help facilitate the questions and be the brother with a box. Look at her right there. There go Miss Valerie, y'all. Look at Miss Valerie. Miss Valerie's loved ones is buried in the hood. They say, don't tell her I told you that. But Miss Valerie's loved one is buried in the hood, y'all. That is interesting. But no, y'all, we finna get to it, man. Yeah, you know how we do it. We gotta let everybody know why we're here. And today's a beautiful day. I'm in a great mood. The air feels good. The sun is out. The birds are chirping. It's early in the morning. I'm in a really good mood today, family. I'm in a really, really great mood today. One last thing before we start, just a little bit of word of wisdom I'd like to pass on to the graveyard shift. Fellas, please listen to your wives. Listen to the women in your life, because I promise you they know more than you. I'm out the door today. Axel says, Dad, can you please fill up this Barbie bathtub with water before you leave? Granted, I told her yesterday we could. All I hear Stacy in the background say, Dalen, no. She's gonna make a mess. I'm like, what? It's just a little bit of water in the tub. It's okay. Axel, go ahead. Y'all, I ain't stepped 2 feet out the door. And all I hear is all this commotion. Y'all, my daughter done damn waterboarded herself at the kitchen table. I was like, I couldn't even take 2 steps out the door before my baby is waterboarding herself. I say all that to say, yeah, fellas, please. Women know everything. Women, we love you. Women, y'all make the world go round. Love, love, love. Let's get to it. She just gonna waterboard herself. She's 3, guys. What are we doing? Hello, hello to all the spirits that are resting here. My name is Dalen. I come in peace, love, and respect. I'm usually over here. That's where I took my friend Anthony. I'm usually over there. Today we're coming across the street down here to speak to our good friend, Miss Valerie. But to all the spirits that are resting here along the way, I'm Dalen and I come in peace, love, and respect. And I'm just here to speak to some of you here that are resting. I hope everyone is having a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. I hope you're resting well. It's like in my mind's third eye, that sounded so real and spiritual, right? In my mind's third eye, I just see I like to imagine it's just spirits just sitting around, like everybody just kind of sitting at their headstone. Some people having coffee. You got the lady over here smoking a cigarette. You know, this guy over here might be rolling one. Like everybody just out here just chilling. So I feel like when you walk through, you should acknowledge. And who's to say, maybe they're not even out here, but I don't know. I don't know. But I just feel like they could be. So good morning to everyone, the Halls family. This is the back of the headstones. I can't see who's resting up there. But to everybody resting, man, I hope y'all having a beautiful morning. The Dennis family, Evelyn and William. William was born in 1899. You got the Wiley family over there, the Dorset family, the Phelps. Good morning to everyone rested. Y'all, I think we're gonna come back here. We're gonna come back here and do a nighttime session. We're gonna do that fairly soon. So to all the spirits that are here, your boy will be back. I will be back very soon, but I'm here to speak to one specific person. So I ask that you will allow me and Miss Valerie to facilitate that conversation. I see a pinwheel. Hold on, y'all. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. I saw this pinwheel over here. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to see if I could try to communicate with it. It is a little breeze today, that's why it's moving. Oh, I'm out of breath. If there's someone here, can you stop the pinwheel for me, please? If I can communicate with you, I would love to through this pinwheel. For me to know that you're here, can you stop it completely? I need like a complete stop, please. Oh, wow. Can you make it spin? Can you get one good spin for me now that you stopped it? I know I'm asking for a lot. I appreciate you, but if you can make it spin one more time. And then you stop it for me. You did do it one more time. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. Who am I speaking with? Louise. Louise Cooper. You passed away May 8th, 2018. Louise, man, are you at peace, brother? Oh, that's solid. That's solid. Yeah, it's going fast. You are at peace. All right, you got to stop it again for me to reset, for me to ask you another question. You got to come to a complete stop. Then I can ask you something else. You slowing down for me. Complete stop. Okay. All right. So I see your family's been out here. Do you enjoy when your family come to visit you? Thinking about it. Well, you know, if it's my brother Tony, he still owe me $30. No, I'm just playing, man. Let me see. Are you pleased with your transition? You transitioned in 2018. Was it like, are you pleased with that whole process? Like, it was, the lines was a little long. So you are, okay. Stopped it. Okay, I appreciate it. Y'all can tell by the grass that's moving if the wind is blowing or not. You know what I'm saying? For it to stop and start. It ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. I would like to think that we are. Some of those starts and stops were kind of, yeah, they were kind of exact. Well, Mr. Louise, brother, I appreciate you, man. You caught my eye from across the way, so that's why I came to speak to you. I'm here to speak to a family member on the other side of the wrestling community, so yeah, I just wanted to come pay my respect. Can I get you to stop it one more time? Like a complete stop, though. The wind blowing now, y'all, for sure. You can see by the grass that the wind blowing. I just need a complete stop. The grass moving, y'all. Go ahead, Louise, go ahead and give him a good spin real quick, man, just to let him know you ain't playing. Give him a good spin one time, Louise. Let him know you ain't playing. Louise, man, I appreciate you. Love. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. The wind's blowing. The grass is steady blowing. But the pinwheel did kind of start and stop when I asked. But here, I'm coming over here one more. But y'all, I'm getting distracted because I haven't been to this wrestling community on this side in a long time. And it's just a lot to acknowledge while we're here. I know Miss Valerie like, where did Dalen go? Baby, I'm coming, I promise you. Let me just go pay my respects real quick to these people resting here. Let me pay my respect. This is a lot going on in the Hollywood Cemetery. Love to those that are resting, to the newly resting. I hope you're at peace. I may have to come back and do a session over here. I hope you're at peace. Love. And to those that are just newly resting over there, love. All right, y'all, let's get to Miss Valerie. Y'all, this is the beautiful Hollywood Cemetery. It's like ducked off in like almost this little cove, canyon. I don't know. It's beautiful nonetheless. But here we are with our fellow shifter. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well. I forgot over here, it's always airplanes.
Yeah.
But that'll be fine, fine. So tell us your name.
My name's Valerie.
Miss Valerie.
Yep.
And Miss Valerie, how long have you been a part of the Graveyard Shift community?
About a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so how'd you come across us?
I love cemeteries.
Really?
I just, anytime I'm driving anywhere and pass an interesting looking old cemetery, I just have to pull in.
Okay.
So
okay.
I love cemeteries, and I think somewhere along the way your site linked into something I was looking at, and I clicked on it and been a fan ever since.
Okay, so you didn't know anything about Ghost Brothers or anything?
No.
Really?
I learned all about that, and I power watched everything prior to like October a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
power watched everything to get caught up.
Yeah. It's always
So-
interesting to me when people, have not heard about Ghost Brothers and genuinely just find me on YouTube. So I literally just popped up on your algorithm and you just enjoyed what we were doing?
Right,
Or
yeah.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on it? Were you were into just visiting in the beauty of cemeteries, but what were your thoughts on like the spirituality connection to it?
Right. Well, my dad was always interested in his genealogy and trying to trace his family. And so I tried to help him do that a little bit. And I would go hunt down all my relatives,
Yeah.
many of which you've spoken with.
Right. So tell them that connection.
Yeah, well, what amazed me was that every time there was a period of time about 6 months ago where every time I watched your show, you were talking to my relatives.
That is
You were
funny.
talking to the cemetery that you call your home cemetery.
Home base, yeah.
Yeah, there's, I think they're like third grade uncles live in there, the Howells.
Okay.
And you always used to like sit right in front of their marker and chat.
Wow.
And then there's a Howell family cemetery that's fenced in that I have like a third and fourth great grandfather in there, a Revolutionary War soldier.
That is interesting.
And you left a little toy for a little guy named Jack.
Yes.
It's still there.
Yes.
It's still there.
Do you go there and do you go there and visit?
I do go visit.
Wow.
I chat with them. I've never tried to get them to chat back.
Yeah.
So this is my first time doing that.
Okay.
But I do introduce myself to people and let them know how I'm related to them and just chat for a minute and move on.
So did you ever watch like paranormal shows on television? Was that ever your thing or?
Not really, but I've done like ghost tours of Savannah.
Like at touristy
touristy
stuff
things.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just trying to understand like just where you fall on this spectrum of paranormal, I guess, belief, because the majority of people that we do these videos with have done some sort of paranormal something,
Right.
You know what I mean, belief or into the shows. But it's interesting to me when I run across someone like you, it's just like, nah, I'm not into any of that.
Well,
I'm just open to see what could.
I kind of am now. I've been enjoying it and watching your investigations of various asylums and different things.
Yeah.
And one was when you went out to California and spoke with the family, the sister of the folks from Jonestown.
Yes.
I mean, you were talking to the people.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they were coming through.
Right.
And there's just been too many conversations where, it was just like you're just chatting with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're definitely coming through. So.
Yeah. I feel the exact same way. Like I said, I feel like you, because before I got into paranormal, I had no desire, no interest. I never really even thought about it. I fell into it, which opened up like a world of just thoughts and just opened up my mind. So yeah, like I said, I love speaking to people who just genuinely aren't necessarily not believers, but it just was never really anything to even think about.
Right.
Like you said, you come to visit your family and you always talk. And I tell people all the time, they like, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You shouldn't be speaking to spirits. But then I always ask them, if you have a loved one that's passed away, don't you ever just speak out? You know what I mean? Like, or, dang, man, James, I miss you, man. Or, dang, I wish James was here. Even that, like you said, you do that. But you just don't take the time to listen.
Yeah, and my dad passed away about 6 years ago, and I kept his car. I sold mine, kept his, and there's never been a thing wrong with the car, no weirdness or anything. But about every 2 or 3 months, the overhead light will pop on for no reason.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
So.
They find the most interesting of ways to communicate at times.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are we here to speak to today?
We're here to talk to John. He's resting over there. He's my great-grandfather.
Okay, John, your great-grandfather. There we go. All right, Miss Valerie, we are out here at the Hollywood Cemetery. Okay, so tell me again, who are we here to speak to?
My great-grandfather, John.
Your great-grandfather, John. Who was your great-grandfather, John?
Well, I'm hoping to find out more about that myself,
Okay.
but it's his passing that I'm just curious to know about, if he's aware of how that happened. And so I wanted to ask him about that and what the circumstances were around that.
So how did he pass
Yeah.
away?
He was hit by a train.
What?
Yeah. He was hit by a train walking home from Atlanta. He lived over in the west side of town and went into town for some reason late at night, which I'd like to know as well.
Okay.
The newspaper article just said he went into town for private business.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
If he will share, I'd like to know what took him into town that night, and if it was usually his habit to walk home on a train track.
And
So-
I guess they said it was like an accident, or was it?
Well, it was a double train track, and he saw the train in front of him coming toward him, so he jumped to the other track, not realizing there was a train behind him, and that one hit him within seconds.
So, in what year did this happen?
1900.
Oh, this was in 1900. This was 125 years ago that he passed away.
Yep.
So you have no, like no interaction. I grew up with my great grandmother. Yeah. She lived to be like 100.
Wow.
So yeah, she was alive for like the first like maybe 12 years of my life.
Yeah, I had no interaction with him or my grandfather. I didn't know either grandfather, just one grandmother.
Really?
So, but my dad's mother passed away when I was 5, so I have vague memories of her. But
Really? And what about your grandfathers and all of that?
well, his son Guy is buried right back here, and he died when my dad was 12, 1950.
Okay.
And my mom's dad died also in 1950. Actually, he died in 52. My mom's dad died in 1950.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So your great grandfather John went out one night to do whatever he was doing.
Whatever.
Whatever he could have been. That's that
Hoping he
man's
will
business.
share.
That's that man's business.
Uh-huh.
And on his way back was hit by a train.
Yeah, he heard the noise of the train in front of him coming, but didn't realize there was one closer to them behind him on the other track.
So I'm assuming witnesses,
Yeah.
that's
well,
from a witness
the
account,
engineers.
said he saw them, what looked like him try to get out the way.
Train
it just
number
did.
9, train number 14.
Wow.
They were in between Chattanooga and Atlanta.
So then, do you know what happens after that? Was it? Yeah.
Wait, do you know?
Yeah, okay.
Actually.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, since it was such a sudden thing, if it's anything he even understands what happened.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, but
So how often do you come out here and interact with him?
this place, probably maybe twice a year.
Okay.
I'll come out here and, just kind of say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Once I got old enough to kind of want to communicate with people, I just wanted to make sure they knew who I was, so I'll introduce myself to them and
Right.
make sure they know how I'm related to them and
Right.
things like that.
So what type of questions were you interested in with asking your?
Well, all about the actual event and that kind of thing. But then after that, I've got some questions about his grandfather.
Oh wow, you're trying to go back.
Yeah, I'm into the yeah.
Yeah.
I know all the people recently
Yeah,
married.
yeah.
I know all about their lives. But yeah, there's a string of like males who lost their fathers young, and like my dad was 12 when his dad died. His son, my grandfather, was about 7 or 8 when he passed away. And then his father lived a long life, but he was only 3 when his grandfather was captured in the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain
Okay.
in 1864 at the end of the Civil War.
Okay.
So, and then he didn't make it home. So he
Yeah.
was sent to Chicago and died in a prison camp up there. So, just curious as to, if they knew that, if they ever got word or how
Right.
they got word,
Right.
that kind of thing.
That's
And,
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this, we get a lot of emails to do these type of shifts or whatnot. Speaking of that, if you do want to get in contact with us, please reach out to the graveyardshift.tv@gmail.com. And we will try our best to facilitate one of these conversations. And what's interesting about that, we get a lot of like stories or people interested in finding out things because one of their loved ones passed away recently, or they need closure, or they need, you know what I mean, just some type of understanding, which I totally get. But as of late, we've been getting a few requests like yourself, in a video that's probably will have dropped by now, where it's people trying to understand their lineage and their history and their genealogy and just like their family bloodline, which is, so it was not anything just, murderous or tragic recently.
Right.
But more so just, I wonder if I can connect with my great-great-great-grandfather and see what, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it just goes to show there's a million different ways and reasons why you can try to connect with someone.
Yeah.
But I do have to tell you, Miss Valerie, we don't know who we're talking to at all.
Yeah.
At all. I will never, you know what I'm saying, make it seem like I'm some psychic medium, and because there are people that do that. I do not. I'm just a brother holding a box. I'm trying to just facilitate that conversation, but we don't know who we're contacting, and we don't know who we're talking to or what we're talking to. I get comments all day long saying it's demons and da-da-da. I ain't gonna say that it's not. I don't know. But I just know something or someone on the other side is responding. That I feel like to be true. I would love to believe that we're contacting and communicating with the people that we're trying to. Do I feel like that's a possibility? Yeah. Do I feel like it's happened? A whole lot. So I believe in this process wholeheartedly. But again, you have to be honest with what we're doing, and just, we don't know who or what we're communicating with. So we just set our intentions. So our intentions are for your great-grandfather, John. So again, I just like to set those boundaries and set those expectations. And we might not hear everything immediately. So it's okay to just move forward with your questioning. And because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to catch everything when I go back and put on the headphones. So we miss a lot in real time. A lot can't be heard. A lot of them sounds are like EVP. You know what the EVP is? Oh, look at you. She been doing her homework. She might just get promoted, y'all. But yeah, a lot of responses are picked up like an EVP, where we will not hear it in real time. But once you put the headphones on and replay it, you will hear that undertone that we might have missed. So, yep, those are the rules. That's the blah, 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 technical stuff of it. But now we will go and introduce ourselves to your great-grandfather. You introduce me, and we'll get to it. All right. Miss, for sure. This isn't a bad area to be resting in. I feel like they keep it up, they mow it up. Like, yeah, like this is a good place for someone to be buried in 1900. Okay.
So where do you want to?
No, so we're gonna sit down over here. But this is, so which one? This is his.
This is him
right here.
John. Yeah, that's his wife, his daughter.
Oh, so this whole family's here. Okay, so you have John Moat. John Thomas Moat, born in 1861 and died in 1900. And you said this is his wife, Cynthia? Hey, Miss Cynthia. That's funny. I would not have thought.
She went on to remarry Henry Clark, so that's why her last name says Clark.
Yeah, but I would never thought that somebody would be named Cynthia in the 1860s.
I know.
I thought the name Cynthia came around probably like in the 70s. That sounds like a good 70s name. That's interesting for 1862.
Well, his sister's name's Ludi.
Where's Miss Ludi? Where's Miss Ludi?
The one with a cross on top.
Oh, Miss Ludi.
Yeah.
Miss
Clean her off a little bit.
Miss Ludi Moat. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So you said Miss Cynthia remarried after John passed away, but she's buried with John.
I know.
What does that mean?
Well, I know that her second husband was Jewish, so he's buried in a Jewish cemetery, and maybe
she couldn't
she
or
knows here or couldn't or
okay.
I don't know. So.
Okay. I'm just saying, John say, listen, man, he gonna win regardless. John say she gonna come back home. That is funny. Okay, John, my name is Dalen. I come in peace, love, and respect. And what I do is I come to rest in communities like this, and I try to speak with those who may not have been spoken to in a long time. you're at a pretty, like, you have a pretty good vantage point. So I would assume that you might have seen me. I'm over here a lot. And you can see me from where I always go. So maybe you know what I do. So I hope this isn't unfamiliar to you. But we would love for you to come through and speak to your great granddaughter, which is kind of really cool when you think about it, man. Like, that's what life is about, is like spreading and multiplying. So it's cool to, even though when you're not here, you get to speak to someone who's, you know, multiple generations down the line. All right, so I'm going to pull out a spirit box, and yeah, we would love to hear from you. Please don't feel like anything you're saying goes unheard, because even if we miss it, we will go back and listen to it again and make sure that we hear what you say. All right. So you said you are a pastor?
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. She was gonna try to keep it a secret, y'all.
I wouldn't say
She
that.
wasn't gonna tell us she's a pastor. We got pastor out here. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
And I actually help people with their grief ministry. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, before we even start, because now you just opened up a whole nother can of worms. As a pastor, how do you feel like what we're doing relates, correlates, goes against, the Bible, just in short?
Yeah, I don't know. I know what it says and spots, and you know, but there's things in there that we just don't do anymore. We don't stone people for doing stuff anymore. Yeah. So I had a chat with the Lord on the way here.
Yeah.
Said, I'm not sure I'm supposed to be doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway, and we'll deal with it later.
Yeah. So. You know what's crazy? I have had that same conversation. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better. Because, I mean, because my mother's a pastor.
Uh-huh.
And so, I've heard her thoughts on it. And she doesn't even really she doesn't feel like it's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I told, my prayer to God is, like, I've asked you to show me if it's bad, if I should not. You know what I mean?
It hasn't come to
It has not. And I promise you, I've been looking high, low, left, and right for that sign that I should not be doing this. And I told God a long time ago, if this is wrong, I'm okay not doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I have never had anything. It's only opened up more and more and more. But I have people say, well, the devil can bless you too. God dang, like what?
Can't win for losing.
You can't win for losing. If it's bad, it's the devil. If it's great, it's the devil. God, which one I'm gonna do? But I did tell him, please forgive my ignorance. So like, if it is something bad and I am continuing, please don't hold it against me. Like, and that's my prayer. Because I feel like we're doing good.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing good. So that's interesting. And then what's the other little tidbit of information you told me when the camera was off?
That I was adopted, so that I'm not actually blood related to John, but he's still my great grandfather.
Yes.
And but I have, been researching genealogy, and so I have this whole other, set of family.
Yeah.
And
that's funny.
They all, I grew up 45 minutes from them all. They're all buried locally here.
That's beautiful.
So so I go visit them and chat with them too. So
John probably like, y'all over here dropping babies off at my front porch. Who is this baby?
Exactly.
John, she was adopted into the family, so that still makes her one of yours.
Yep.
I bet that's still really, really dope. I would love. Could you imagine 125 years after you pass away, someone who was adopted into your family, who looks as your lineage as theirs, come here just to, like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, John. Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut this on, and we're gonna get to it, and we're gonna just see. Okay. My name is Dalen. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to me and Valerie? Okay, I'm gonna ask you 3 times just to make sure. Can you please tell me your name? Okay, well, there's really no point of saying it again because I heard it too right after the first one. John, I'm glad that you're here. Here. Do you mind if we ask you a few questions? Do? Okay. Okay. I have your great granddaughter here, Miss Valerie. It's fine. Do you remember her coming out here? Said listening. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna have Miss Valerie ask you a couple questions, okay, John? He wanted her to. Okay, here we go. Miss Valerie, go ahead.
Okay, John. I'm here with my friend Dalen, and I'm glad that you're willing to talk with us this morning. I'm curious. You passed away fairly young, or left this life fairly young, back in 1900, and as Dalen mentioned, that was 125 years ago. But I'm curious to know if you know how you passed, because it was very sudden, and I'm not sure I would want to know if it were me, but I'm just curious to know if you know what happened.
Okay, Mr. John, do you know how you passed away? Mr. John, can you tell me how you passed away? But let's ease into it, Mr. John. Let me ask you this. Do you know how you passed away? Definitely. Okay, so you do know how you passed away. Okay, can you tell me how you passed away?
We know.
Can you tell me what took your life? Okay. Okay, so we'll go back and listen to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I ease into it?
You definitely can. Yeah.
Okay.
It's your great granddaddy.
Okay. Well, you may have said something we didn't hear, but I wanted to just, you passed away after going into town late one night, and on your way back home, you were hit by a train. You were walking on a train track, and you saw the train in front of you coming towards you. You heard the noise of that train, and it was a double track, and you jumped to the next track, not realizing that there was a closer train behind you, and that one hit you. So that was such a sudden and tragic ending. I was just curious if you were aware of it, and if you knew what happened. So it was just so tragic and quick, so quick. Because there was a news article that appeared in the paper the next day that talked about it, and I have a copy of that news article. It was a news article, and it just mentioned that, that the engineers, it was just you stepped right out in front of the closest train, and there was nothing you could do, the engineer of the train.
So, as you're talking, and Mr. John, we're going to get to that question, but it makes me think, could it have been intentional? Because this is my only... Okay. If I'm walking across some train tracks, right?
Well, it was a trestle. So he was on a trestle, and there were 2 tracks. He didn't have any options.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what a trestle is.
It's a bridge.
Okay. You just dropping SAT words on us, y'all.
It's a bridge.
From this day forth, I will never use the word bridge again. I'm only using trestle.
Okay.
No, okay. So if I'm walking on a trestle, okay, so there was really nowhere he could go. Because I'm thinking about if I'm trying to cross some railroad tracks, I
would just run, but...
Well, I would have to see both. You would have to see both trains coming.
Yeah.
Because you can't see this train and not see this train coming from this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if a train is coming this way and this is the initial train that I'm trying to avoid, that means I would have to have seen this train coming from this way.
But he was already walking that way.
So, but if he's already on the tracks, then I can now, on this trestle, then if you're already walking, there's nowhere where you really can go. But I guess, yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to understand the rationale, Mr. John. Okay, Mr. John. So can you tell me anything about that? So what was your question in a roundabout way was what?
Well, letting him know actually what happened and if he already knew that.
Yeah.
And then, I have a follow-up question.
Gotcha. So, Mr. John, did you know that is how you passed away?
Emily,
Said kind of is sad. Do you remember any of that?
About living.
Do you remember walking on that trestle that night? Yes. Okay. So was there just nowhere for you to go when the trains were coming? I couldn't something. You couldn't what, Mr. John? He said escape. So you were pretty much trapped on the trestle. This is a new word that we throwing out there. You was trapped on the trestle and couldn't get off. And a train was just coming both ways. Yeah. Dang.
He had 5 children at home. 5 children.
So Mr. John, was it just an unfortunate accident?
And again,
Somebody didn't help you. Something didn't help you. What didn't help you? Did you think that it was a possibility that trains were going to be crossing that trestle? Is that something that you did often? Okay, my bad, Valerie. I got excited. I was running off with the question.
No. That's actually one of my questions was if that was his typical way in and out of town. If a lot of people did that. I mean, we don't make a habit of walking on train tracks these days, but
right.
Was that your way in and out of downtown?
Okay.
From the west side of Atlanta.
So Mr. John, was that a common route for you? Well, let me ask you this, Mr. John. Is that something you had done more than twice before? I said a few times. Okay.
All right, and the newspaper article said, because this was like late at night, it was in the 11:30 at night range, and the newspaper article said that you had gone into town on some private business.
Mr. John, I don't want her to ask you this. I tell, as a grown man, your business is your business. But
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say no. No is a perfectly acceptable answer. But I was just asking if, wanting to ask if you would let me know what took you into town so late at night that had you walking on a train track and on your way home. So, what took you into town?
Mr. John.
If you'll share.
Mr. John, they say some things you're supposed to take to the grave, Mr. John.
One of my mottos is all may, some will, none must.
Hey, listen.
So it's up to you.
Listen. Well, technically, you have taken this to the grave, Mr. John. So if you want to share, now could be the time that you do. Mm-hmm. Mr. John, do you remember, or do you mind sharing what took you into town that night? So he said, why she asked me that.
Like I said, no is an okay answer.
I'm not going to tell you what I just heard.
Okay. I'll wait and see it in the little words on the video later.
Mr. John, just for my clarity, I'm going to write what I heard. Can you repeat what you just said, just so I know what I heard? What were you doing in town? Mr. John, were you meeting with someone? Oh, no? Okay. All right. Well, maybe I didn't hear what I thought I heard. I thought you said you was on a date. Mr. John, you wasn't on a date, were you? Okay. So what were you doing? Sound like he said, shut up. Okay. He like this. Put my business.
That's okay, John.
Put my business out there.
Your wife, Cynthia, is buried right next to you, so we understand. Okay.
Okay. Before we move forward, real quick, Mr. John, how do you feel about your ex-wife, Miss Cynthia, being buried next to you? I heard a woman just whisper something. I heard choose me. This is funny. I'm ready to go back and hear this. Okay, what's your next question?
Let's see. My grandfather was your son Guy. He's right here in the same resting place. He was 8 years old when this happened to you, and I'm just curious if you were able to see and watch your family grow up and have children of their own, and their children have children. Is it possible to see all that happen?
Mr. John, have you been able to see your family grow and expand? Is that something that you watch from wherever you are? Are you proud of where your family has gone? Sonny said family was lovely.
And so my grandfather and grandmother, Guy, and his wife, Essie, are buried right back here. And like your wife is here and your sister is right over there. And I'm just curious to know if they're kind of all here with you right now.
Okay.
Are they here?
Are you here with everyone that's resting with you, John?
Okay, so
Think so? John, do you like resting next to your family like this?
So you were the first one of them all to pass away, so I would think it would make me feel pretty good that they all chose to be buried near me.
Yeah, that is
So,
real cool.
instead of
Right?
leaving you out here by yourself.
How do you feel about that, John? I apologize, John. I couldn't hear you. There was a plane going and a lawnmower going. So the question is, how do you feel about you being the first one resting here and all of your family joining you?
We have
So, Miss Valerie, 100 years when you transition, 100 years from now when you transition over, where you gonna come out here with the family?
Well, I don't know because I know that some of the families here, but my mom and dad are up north of Atlanta in the cemetery up there, and so I don't know. I enjoy wandering cemeteries and talking to people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be somewhere where nobody comes and
Yeah.
talks to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how busy of a place this is. I might be the only person who ever comes out here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have some cousins. The cousins have come out here with me to clean up areas. But
So was John from the area, from this side of town?
West Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh, west side of Atlanta.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was jokingly saying when I first got here, I was like, John, because this area ain't it's,
Not bad.
yeah, it ain't it's
It's better than back then.
yeah, but I mean just like this side of town.
Right.
Yeah. They're definitely cleaning up over here,
Mhm.
gentrifying over
Mhm.
here, and all of
Yeah.
that. But I was just like, I wonder what he was doing over here.
Well, yeah, I remember coming. My grandmother passed away when I was 5, so that was my first time here.
Yeah.
It was, coming to clean up their resting place and with my dad and aunts and uncles, and so I know they're, so I've been coming here off and on since then.
Yeah.
But more often recently.
Got you. Okay, so what other questions do you have? I love how you came with it printed out.
With my questions.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sit here and go,
No,
So,
listen, I understand.
So several generations of men in the family lost their fathers at early ages, and so my dad was 12 when your son Guy passed away, and then he was like 7 or 8 when you passed away, and your father though lived a nice long life, but your grandfather, you were only 3 when he was captured in the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, right at the end of the Civil War, June of 1864. So I was just curious as maybe how old you might have been when you understood what happened to him, or how your family was notified back then, because I know these days, soldiers come to your door and let you know. And I don't know that was really a thing back then, and I don't know how long it would have taken, for your family to find out what happened to him. So I was just curious if you knew anything about him. I know he was taken in about 4 or 5 days up to Chicago and was in a Confederate prisoner of war camp there and passed away 2 months later.
Oh, wow.
And he's buried in a like a mass grave, but there's a really nice marker with a
And this is
thing
John's
there.
grandfather.
That's his grandfather. But
Oh,
he
wow.
was only 3 when that happened, so
So does he know the story of his grandfather?
Right,
And
right.
did he grow up hearing about it? And,
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's interesting. How did he pass in 3 months after being captured? 2 or 3 months after capture?
I think it was. I mean, the camps, all of them weren't where anybody would want to be. So it was like dysentery or something.
Okay.
But,
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So, Mr. John, did you grow up hearing the stories of your grandfather? Let me wait to this.
Yeah.
Lawnmower.
I think he's just driving around for fun now.
Yeah. But thank you to all the people that do all the work to keep places like this beautiful and going. And I always am very appreciative when I see people keeping up resting communities. Y'all, I'm thinking about going live one day and doing a cemetery cleanup. So I'll just cut the camera on and we just gonna talk so we can entertain each other while I clean up a cemetery somewhere here in Atlanta, y'all. Nothing crazy, just picking up some trash, y'all, making some people's space a little bit more comfortable. So I'm probably gonna do that pretty soon. So yeah, just be prepared to sit on live with me for an hour while I do some spring, summer cleaning. Okay, so the question was, are you familiar, Mr. John, with the stories of your grandfather?
So, Tennessee.
What do you remember hearing about your grandfather?
Not really.
Not really.
Said,
His name was William.
Get up.
Did you remember hearing stories about your grandfather, William?
So much so every so we know.
Okay.
And I was just curious, since he is buried in Chicago, I'm curious to know if y'all can move around.
Right.
Like, can he be here with you? Have you met everybody in the family? Has there been a family reunion up there?
That's
So,
actually a very
are you
beautiful
able
question.
to see him?
So
So are you able to meet all of your family members on the other side? Have you met your grandfather? He's there. Okay.
Okay. And then you have a grandfather, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather
Okay.
that was a Revolutionary War soldier. And he's also buried here in North Georgia. So there's a lineage there of people stepping up and doing, what they need to do in times of war.
Yeah.
But, I just was curious if distance was a thing, or if you can be anywhere.
Okay.
So, because I personally, when my time comes, I'm hoping that I'm just not hanging out in the walls of a cemetery.
Yeah. And honestly, I've done this a million times now. And I don't know what I thought before I started doing the graveyard shift. You know what I mean? If you would have asked me, do spirits hang around cemeteries? I would be like, I don't think so. But do I feel like cemeteries could be haunted or spirited? Probably. Probably. But after coming to these and doing hundreds and hundreds of graveyard shifts, I don't necessarily think that they hang around, But I do feel like they have access to, because I feel like you could probably talk to somebody at your house. You know what I mean? If you set the right intent.
Right.
But I just feel like, one, it sets the tone. It sets the tone.
Yeah.
And it shows
and
like,
an obvious spot.
yeah, and you it's like you're showing like this is, I can't get no closer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I just had some more modern day questions of you. Is I know Dalen has asked other people, you know, a couple of these same questions, but are you aware of time? Do you know it's 125 years later? And, you know, how things have changed? Are you aware of anything? Do folks share stuff with you when they get there?
Sensitive. We're West.
Mr. John, are you aware of the time that's passed? No.
Do you know what year it is now?
Mr. John, can you tell us what year it is? No, you're forcing it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
That's all right. One other thing I had was you are resting pretty much in the flight path of a couple of different airports.
Yes.
And several planes have gone over today. And I was just curious if you see those, if you actually understand what they are. Because the first flight wasn't until like 6 years after you passed away. So are you aware of what's happening, what those things are that fly over?
That's wild to think about. Because I do talk to a lot of people that were in the 1800s. And it's like, you're right, they would have never, like the idea of that was probably so far-fetched.
Right.
In 1873.
Yeah, like 300 people just flew over.
Yeah, right.
In a tube.
In a tube. a metal tube. No,
Yeah.
So, Mr. John, how do you feel about stuff like that?
Upstairs.
Is that something that you would have been interested to have tried to fly on a plane?
You have
Yeah.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
Yep.
No.
Are there other things that you see in present day that you would have loved to experience when you were here?
That's right.
Because from where you're resting, you saw both of us drive in. The road's like right there, right over there. So I was just curious, you know, there was some sort of buggy or something in the 1800s, late 1800s, but you know, you see cars, there's roads here, and you see people coming and going all the time from the cemetery. So, you know, things have changed. So I was just curious if you were aware of that. So.
Are you aware of the changes, Mr. John?
I
see them. So I admire them. Interesting. Okay.
And I just got a couple more. One, my cousins, who would also be your great-grandchildren.
Right.
There's like 6 or 7 of your great-grandchildren who come out here a couple of times a year just to clean off your son, Guy, and his wife's resting area back there. It's right at the edge of this area that you can see that's not taken care of, but the family comes out and makes sure that they're taken care of. And I was just curious, and we always walk down here and we say hi to you, and pick weeds and stuff. I'm just curious if you're aware when we're here.
Miss Valerie, I thought you said something else.
No, pick weeds.
I tell you, yeah, we come visit you.
Pick
We
weeds.
take weed. What, Miss Valerie?
Pick
Mr.
weeds.
John, Mr. John, this what your bloodline is out here doing, Mr. John. No, you picking weed,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay.
So I'm just curious to know if you know that we're here when we're out taking care of y'all. So,
Mr. John, are you aware of the work that your family does to keep your family's resting space clean and clear?
Good. 34.
That you- How do you feel about your family still taking care of your resting space? Something helping somebody. You're helping so much. Let's go. That was actually really
you're
cool.
welcome.
Yeah.
I'll be coming back out and try to clean off your daughter's marker over there. It's not legible right now just because it's got stuff on it, but I'll clean that off.
Yeah.
But
You should let us know when you do. We would love to come help.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
maybe we can buy the supplies and
Yeah.
everything you need, and we'll come out here and help you clean up your families.
All right.
Yeah, so reach some Chaz. Be on the lookout for that connection, so we can come out here and help Miss Valerie clean up the family's resting space.
The only other question I had was if there was anything else that you would want to say, anything that's been sitting on your heart and mind since you were so abruptly taken away. If there's anything you'd like to say.
Mr. John, is there anything else that you would like to say? Mr. John, is there anything else you would like to say?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. John. Somebody's talking.
Is it Cynthia? She tried to...
Miss Cynthia, are you here? Miss Cynthia, are you here? Stop. Okay, Miss Cynthia, I'll leave you alone, girl. Thank you. She said I would like that. Okay, yes, ma'am. John, you had you a feisty one. John had him a feisty one. John probably like, oh Lord, they done buried her right next to me. I tried to get away. No, I'm just playing, John and Cynthia. No, I'm just playing. I promise you, I'm just playing. So, I don't know, Miss Valerie. What do you think?
I think we heard some answers. I did. So I'm curious to see what you hear once you listen and see if there's anything else that he said. But
do you feel like that we were communicating with John?
I do, but I personally don't feel anything negative about, like, I know other, some commenters have said things that, that you're speaking to the devil,
They
but
say things.
I don't feel anything negative about what we were doing.
You don't feel devilly here.
Right.
Not at all. See, you taught me trestle. I taught you devilly.
Yes, that's a good one.
See?
That's a good one. It's
We
not
making
deviling.
words as we go. But no, it doesn't feel negative.
Right, and some of the answers were just so quick, and
Right.
even if they were yes or no answers, they were quick to the question.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before we go. Have you done research on your blood family? Have you found out? Or
Yeah, that's the Howells.
oh, so that's the Howells.
That's my birth mother's father's family.
Wow.
And I'm in the process of joining the Daughters of the American Revolution
Okay.
through that line.
Oh wow.
So
That's cool.
I've been able to. I have to jump through a few hoops since I'm adopted. I have to prove a few things that others don't, but I've proven all that. So
that's super cool, Valerie.
So.
Well, that's amazing. Welcome to the Graveyard Shift family, to the paranormal side of things. Pastor. So it's just cool to have someone like you a part of our community that can provide a perspective that and help us understand. And it's cool to see that you have the same questions that we have. You know what I mean? We don't know what we're doing and just trying to figure it out one step at a time. Well, Graveyard Shift family, this has been another amazing PTO. We gonna come up with a better name for that, y'all. We working on it. But until next time, love. Miss Valerie, thank you so much for your time. John, Miss Cynthia, thank y'all.
Thank you.